Hey guys, Rexasaur here, and welcome to Crusader Kings 2 Red Emperor, where we are still King of Lithuania despite no problems actually. In the last episode we were trying to do several things, the first of which was to get ourselves to feudal, but that requires an absolute tribal organization, which at the moment we have quite a list of oppositions, and we hope to get rid of that soon. But the first thing I'm going to do is create the Duchy of Mazovia, which I'm going to give to my family member who owns all of the provinces, which will give me a nice little prestige boost. The things that we're going to focus on in this episode are to reform the religion, get ourselves to feudal, and also maybe try and get to emperor, but that will take quite a bit of conquest, which I start doing straight away. I declare war on 3 separate provinces, the first being Saxe, then the Duchy of Greater Poland and the Duchy of Moravia. Also, some of my vassals who are unhappy with the level of tribal organization have decided to revolt against me, and I don't particularly want it to go down at all. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to just continue the way I am and say, screw you, I'll fight you, which means that I'm going to have to raise some tribal levies. Then, so with those tribal levies, I'm going to send them off, attack the revolters, and also go down and join up my armies. As you can see on the left side, we have this huge army rampages through Silesia right now, on the bottom of our kingdom. This is a big problem, and these are the allies of the Duchy of Greater Poland, and I think they've got Pomerania on their side. As you can see, it's flashing at the top rightish. That is part of what will be our empire eventually. They are very strong right now. They are also right next to the French, who have decided to take over Saxony, and that means that they are right next to it. And I didn't realise we bordered them until very recently, actually. When I looked back through the footage, it was quite scary to realise that the biggest Catholic powerhouse is next to us. So, uniting our armies with the tribal army that I raised, it allows us to attack and defeat the big army of Greater Poland and Pomerania, which is fantastic. That allows us to get quite a bit of stuff, also to defeat the revolt. What I'm going to do now is, with the provinces of Saxe and all that, I can't create the duchy because I don't have enough money, but I'm going to give, because I control every county, I'm going to give it to my second son, Valerius. I'm going to give him all of that, and this turns out to be a really bad idea in the long run, and you'll see why later. But for the moment, I'm just giving him all the county, basically wanting to give him the duchy, which means that, you know, he'll stay in the family, and it's awesome. So now we're going to focus on trying to defeat... Oh, absolute tribal organization goes through, which is fantastic, because that means we can finally go to feudal. But after a quick look at feudal, we actually need to be reformed. So we need to reform the faith first, which is annoying. But I managed to do that. Well, we're going to see if we manage to do that later. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking around, and I'm trying to change the religion of neighbouring provinces and stuff, which are mostly Slavic, because we are obviously the Removan faith. And as you can see, as I look at France, it's like, holy crap, what happened here? I think one of them died, and it was separated between several sons, and it's just ridiculous. But focusing mostly on our combats, we win our battle against Greater Poland, which means that the bottom side of our country is free, and we are going to focus on the county of Moravia, well, the county of Kujor, but owned by the Duchy of Moravia, which is going to be fantastic. Also giving my first-born son the county of Poznan, with basically the idea of giving him the Duchy of Greater Poland eventually. After that, we managed to defeat the Moravia, which is fantastic. And as I look at my important decisions, once again I look and it's just like, I need to reform the religion, and that's something that Civimundas really wants to do. The people are not ready, not yet, to see the wonders of the feudal system, the very same system that the Carlings used to raise vast and grand armies against one another. It is only a matter of time before we see those very armies raised in unison against us. but our current holy texts do not allow such a thing, as they express explicit tribal powers in their pages. No, the people must see the light. We must change our ways, change the very words of the gods. So, Zivimbundas's dream is to reform the religion, something that may be possible in the future. But after this small speech to his wife, victory, basically. We win this battle, and that means he can focus on other things for the moment, and some of these things are pretty much keeping the realm in check, making sure that nothing bad happens. So, as I was looking around, my Spy Master dies, which is fantastic, and that also leads me to my problems with factions. In this episode, you're going to see a lot of factions, and it's really annoying. This dude, the Count of Isbeth, the Chieftain of Isbeth, sorry, is probably not the worst. I'm also looking around at my neighbours, because whenever you do a conquest, your moral authority raises, and we need moral authority at 50 to be able to reform the religion. So a conquest moves that up by 1%, and I'm just looking around. I'm literally spent most of this episode looking around trying to see how I can do this in a successful way. So I have enough money to create the Duchy of Lesser Poland, and this is what's really annoying, is that because this is my heir now, my second son is my heir, because all the counts decided to vote for him for some reason. This means I cannot give him a duchy because he's actually going to get the kingdom. I can only give it to any of my children who are not my heirs. So this is annoying because it means I have an extra duchy I've just created which I can't actually get rid of. And so I forget this for a bit. I only see it once I see that some of my dudes think, oh, too many held duchies, minus 20 opinion. It's like, oh, god damn it. So I'm going to give Vitebsk to my second son. Sorry, my firstborn, who is now no longer my heir, Cyrillus. So I'm going to give him the Chieftain of Vitebsk. Hopefully he's going to get elected to become the next. But that doesn't actually happen, which is annoying. Also, I'm just looking around at these chieftains of Pomerania, because I obviously want to attack them at some point, but they're really strong, and I decide, we'll just attack Estonia, our old enemy, for Livima. So what we're going to do is that we're going to get all our armies together. As you can see, they have quite an okay sized army in Pskov right now, and we're just going to siege whilst they siege. Pretty much that. We also get a technology advancement which we're going to put into legalism for later, because legalism needs to be up for us to enact crown authorities and things like that. So also going to raise a small tribal army just to make sure we definitely beat them, because our armies are very even in number in terms of, people. So we victory in Livama, they victory in Pskov, so we're going to attack them and try and defeat them in Pskov, which is great, pretty much. Get ourselves some weak commanders and try and attack them over the river, which is probably the worst idea, but they go to our capital, so we're going to defeat them there instead, which is great. And then after defeating them, we're going to head up north back to attack. Well, we're going to take back Pskov, pretty much. But things don't always go to plan, and that's what's annoying, is that it didn't go to plan in this case. I've taken Pskov. As you can see, they have a massive allied army. It's not actually that strong compared to me, but I attack it, and as you can see, my center just collapses straight away. And in Crusader Kings 2, if your center collapses, you take a massive penalty to military bonuses. So we actually get defeated here. This is a huge loss for Lithuania in terms of military history. Like, this is bigger. This is actually 67% war score in their favor, which is horrible. So what's happening is that we're going to have to do something about it. What do you mean we've lost the battle? We had almost 5,000 men out there. You initiated the attack. You had every advantage in numbers. If the king hears of your failings, his wrath will be no worse than that of the gods. Listen, I will talk to Zivimbudas. I will ask that he call upon the tribes once more. We cannot allow our enemy to defeat us, to seem stronger than us. It will create tensions in the realm, and our neighbors will think us weak. But there is one condition. Do not fail this kingdom again. So the orders of the Marshal have been heard by Zivimbudas. He's going to raise 2 tribal armies to try and defeat the foe. Yeah, Marshal's awesome. So we're going to raise 5,000 men, join him to the slightly weakened army currently. We actually take attrition, we have so many men. But we're going to be able to defeat this army of joint allies with Estonia, and I think Finland basically joined, and that's just too much basically. I think that's what happened. Don't actually know who's participating in this war, didn't pay too much attention. But overall they muster another huge army, but, well, I say huge, relatively huge army, but we have a massive one, so it doesn't really matter. Although because of this 67% minus, it basically 67% war score in their favour, as you can see there, it's a huge red blob of negative war score. We have to take quite a bit of Estonia to actually win the war, which we do eventually. And that once again allows us to focus on other things. So we managed to defeat them, which allows us to get plus 1% in our moral authority of our religion. Yay. We also have more faction problems, this time with Pruthania, which will become quite a big one. But I can assassinate this guy, which is fantastic. So that's exactly what I'm going to plan to do. Assassinate him to prevent him from joining factions and just to get rid of him in general. Also, just looking around the general map, see Abbasids are pretty big, Khazari is massive. So there's quite a few big things, but we are still quite a sizable red blob on the map. So I see that one of my vassals actually taken a province really close to one of the holy sites, which is in Bryansk. But to get to Bryansk I need to take this county, which is what I'm going to do. Going to wage war on it because I need to take it so that I can hop on towards the holy site, which is great. It's actually really helpful. That vassal was in fact my son Cyrillus, who is now High Chief of Vitebsk. So he basically waged war against Ruthania, which is the white province I'm on right now, and took that province from them, which is great because it gives us a nice little hopping step. Also, the plot to kill the High Chief of Pruthania manages to go through, which is fantastic. It's approved. Does it succeed? Well, we'll see very soon. Right now, it does succeed, and no one knows it was me, so it's great. So far, I haven't had any failings in the plots, which is great. But now his son is there, and he's going to be a problem as well. We win this war. He surrenders to us, which is fantastic. Also gives us more provinces. It puts me back up to 9 of my domain size. It's all fantastic, and we have to get rid of our tribal stuff. And now that allows us to wage war on this guy. I'm just looking at his allies, just see if I can do a dual war, because that is a part of the same duchy, but they keep having bigger allies than them, and it's really annoying. So this one is Ruthenia, and then this guy, it's just so many allies, it gets a bit bewildering. So I just decide to take Bryansk on its own. So I declare war on it, raise my armies. In a minute, that'd be great, thank you. Declare war on it, raise my armies, call my allies to help. Also deciding to call my vassal levies as well for the first time in a while, because I feel like this could... well, I don't want to raise tribal levies all the time. However, it seems there is some discontentment in my realm.
Lord Palemonatis, this is a formal declaration of independence. I, along with the High Chiefs of Silesia and Pruthenia, have decided to forego our oaths to you, O false king. You abandon your people in hopes of achieving a selfish greatness, forsaking your promise to us of protection, prosperity, and freedom as laid out by the laws of this land. The mighty god of smiths, Tiliavilis, and our patron deity, Andiges, both look down upon this realm with tears in their eyes, for you will bring ruin to your people, to all peoples. If you do not accept that we are now free from your tyranny, then this is a declaration of war. May your corpse rot eternally in the fires of Alcuras.
So a massive setback for Zivimbudas. Parts of his kingdom wants to become independent. They've had enough of him and his stupid ways of trying to reform a faith that doesn't need to be reformed. Also the feudal system, who wants that? But Zivimbudas is committed. He wants to get that holy site. He wants to be able to be on the way to reform the faith. He needs much more than what he's going to get, but this is possibly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to get Bryansk, because with the big empires of Khazari and such right next door, it's just a matter of time before they finally, try and go for these small provinces. Also, some men randomly want to join. So what happens is that during this time of taking Bryansk and things, we managed to defeat their small army, but we're going to get defeat message after defeat message as the rebels basically take province after province. They aren't one of the other reasons why Zivin Budas does not want to give in is because these are his big money-making provinces. The Duchy of Silesia is the strongest one, bar himself, bar Zivin Budas's personal provinces. But we win that war, and we can actually reform the faith. There's a button up there that highlighted, and I didn't realise until the very last minute. 5 minutes it took me to realise, and it's like, oh my god, we can actually reform the faith. So Zivin Budas has completed one of his goals, which is to reform the faith. Bring unto me, Andajus, Lord of Lords, the power to rule these lost people, their souls and their wills. The time of darkness is finally over, and the light of the Akuras burns more brightly than ever before, illuminating our new path, the path which you built for us, the path of greatness. You look upon the realm of removans, and you will cry in joy as your people grow stronger than they ever have before. And my family, the true sons of Chielavilis, of Zvoruna, of mighty Pakunas, and of yourself, we pledge to lead your people in the uniting of all Slavs and the destruction of the heretical Catholics. So Zivin Budas has successfully managed to reform the Removan faith, something that is actually quite difficult to do and I've never done before. So I'm pretty proud of myself, to be honest, not gonna lie, to be able to have done that in 4 episodes. But of course this results in other things such as rebellions, this time just a normal peasant revolt because they're not too happy. Also I'm going to show you the religious map mode, and you're going to see that we are absolutely divided when it comes to religion. But the first things, we also get a holy order, which is great. I didn't realise we got our own personal Removan holy order. So I'm going to, despite having raised all the levies, get a tribal vassal, not a tribal vassal, but a tribal army raised, because 2,500 men, you can't spit on that, it's beautiful. But having reformed the faith, that allows us to get us to the feudal system, which is fantastic. But that's going to have to happen after we defeat the pesky rebels. So we crush one revolt, which is just a peasant revolt for the religion, and next one is going to be this big revolt, considering 2 duchies and 1 count, which actually is the leader. So we're just going to do that, going to raise our huge army up, race him up I should say, up to their counts. We've unsieged all of our provinces that we could have, and now we're going to slowly siege them down, looking just at the prisoners, getting ourselves some nice little money because we can. And we managed to take the province, which gives us a nice hefty war score in our favour. As you can see also, as we try and siege Provenia, our ally has decided to attack them, which is great. They're actually doing something in the war, which they don't usually do because they are very small. But whatever, we're not going to complain. We get a nice little alliance bonus kind of thing. We also get some piety, which is great, because our first son, Cyrillus, is actually our high court chaplain. And that allows us to just send him and convert everyone to the new Removan faith. We win our war, and that means we can go straight to disbanding all our armies, apparently, and also adopting feudalism, which is great. And then I spend 20 minutes sorting out all of that because it changed all of my holdings to basically castles, and I mean I needed to get rid of all the city ones. It was just fun. And we also get our crown authority up to medium, which is awesome. And we're just going to look around. Basically what happened is that we got declared war on, but I didn't realise. We got declared war on by our old ally, who has got 2,000 men and decided, we can take Sax, and I'm just saying like, no you can't. But I don't have any dements levies, as you can see. I can't actually raise any, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise my levies and raise our holy order because we can use it. And I just decide, Actually, I don't need to use all my dues. I'll just get rid of my levies and just use the Holy Order pretty much. Give them some use. Now we've got it, so we can actually get it. It's great. Just a horrendous amount of people to take out that small army. But it's, yeah, because we adopted feudalism, it basically meant that we couldn't actually get any of our Dements levies yet, because they need to sort of not spawn but sort of get into the jam of things. So we win that, we get ourselves some nice money, and we can also get rid of the Holy Order. We've used it, which is fantastic, and also more faith is being spread. So there we go, there is Lithuania as it stands. We've reformed the faith. So our next plans is to, as I've written it down, call holy wars, which we can do, possibly on Pomerania, as you can see. And then we're going to try and form the empire. That is what our plans for the next episode is. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. High Priest Saul was the first in many aspects. While she wasn't the first woman to obtain the rank of priestess, she was the first to control a position as powerful as the Pope. Not only was she able to forward the intentions of the kings of the faith, but also the intentions of her own gender. Female priests grew in popularity, and soon every follower of the faith saw Saul as being on par with Zivin Budas, king of Lithuania, who had allowed her to rise to such a prestigious position. It is without a doubt the first time a woman has been in a position of such power and high standing since Queen Cleopatra of Egypt.